Hello everybody, good morning, buenos dias, ohayo gozaimasu, and that's as many ways as I know to say good morning in any language. Yeah, languages aren't my best. But anyways, hello and welcome everybody to my really long stream of various games participating in the Fall in Love Festival. Now I decided to do this on a dime, once I started hearing more about it, and I figured, you know what, this would be a really good way to help give some support to some indie developers, play some really, really cool games, and just, you know, fill my weekend. You know, I could always do so. Hi, me. Thank you for the resub. And hello to you too, Moondusk. Good morning, you guys. Welcome. Starting things off with a bang. So, for those of you who might not be aware, the Fall in Love Festival is a festival on Steam being put out by Elan Studios, one of their games I've actually played the demo of before. I backed on Kickstarter. Really cool game. I forgot which one it is. It was either Moondusk Masquerade or the other one. I forget. But point is, Elan Studios, go and check them out. They do a lot of really cool visual novels. They're all really beautiful. A lot of them are very queer focused, with a focus on Yuri, women love women type thing. But they are hosting a festival specially dedicated to romance visual novels. And there's some games that I'm familiar with that are on there, some which I've seen on Kickstarter, some have just kind of caught my eye as we go about just, you know, browsing through Steam. And I figured, yeah, this would be a good way to start checking them out. So, little note about how we're going to do this. What it is I have a list of 4, potentially 5 if we have time, game demos that I'm going to try and play through. I do have someplace to be at 7:30, so I'll be leaving probably around like 6:30, 7 o'clock. But we're going to get through as many as we can. I don't know how long these demos are. Usually they tend to run a couple of hours, so we'll see. I have got lots of tea, and after every demo, we will take a 10-minute break. Just kind of refresh, get a snack, drink some water, take care of my throat. And then around noon, it'll probably be a half-hour break so I can eat lunch, and then we'll get back into the fray. So without further ado, the first game we have up today is Our Life Now and Forever by Patch Studios, one of those two. Switching on over here. Now you might recognize them from their just in general Our Life series. Cove, I know I haven't played it myself, but Cove is a really popular character. It's got like that lime green hair going. Although I am lightly familiar with Our Life Now and Forever simply because of a certain artist who I have worked with before, being absolutely obsessed with this game, and it's absolutely adorable. So it's kind of fitting that I check this one out first. It's a special little homage to them, because this is also the same artist who is the first artist I ever commissioned to do personal art of my V2 model. That is, of course, going to be River, who did the beautiful thumbnail for my A Date with Death series. Let me go ahead and catch up with chat real quick. Been up since 4:30 a.m. with baby girl. Oh, I'm sorry, Meek. It's early enough for me to be awake. Yeah, it is, Moondusk. And thank you for the lurk pult. But alrighty, now let's go ahead and hop into things. Now, these games are usually a little queer focused, which we always love. I don't know the specifics of this one. I suppose I could probably pull up Steam and read it to you guys real quick. Real quick. Our Life Now and Forever. Okay. So, a paper airplane, 2 new neighbors, 4 autumns, and a one-of-a-kind life. Create an experience that's all your own in this near, fully customizable, choice-heavy story where you grow from childhood to adulthood. So yeah, you're just playing through a person's life, and you get to kind of fall in love a little bit. So you're gonna see them in childhood, teen years, adult years, so on. And that is all I know. So let's go ahead and start a new game. Welcome to the Our Life Now and Forever demo. This is a preview that includes the beginning of the game and a preview of some later events. Expansions and improvements to the game will come out as time goes on. For example, the finished version will have partial voice acting, thank God. This demo doesn't have any voice lines. Shit! I got pinged to wake at 3 a.m. yesterday/today for me by pulled in the group chat, so I had to disable it on my phone. I was so close to dozing off, the worst part. Oof. When the game is complete, the entire story will be playable from start to end for free. However, optional paid DLCs will be available to add in even more scenes. Ooh. The very start is a brief tutorial that will be skippable in future playthroughs. It'll help you get acquainted with all the many ways your choices can impact how the game plays. At any time, you can press the pref button on the side of the game screen. This one right here. To open the settings page and make the experience better suited for you. You can change the text size, font style, sound, volume levels, turn the light animation elements on or off, and other general options. The story of Our Life Now and Forever spans 12 years. Damn! With the character you play as beginning as a 10-year-old child and ending as a 22-year-old adult. In between those points are two other stages of life, 14-year-old adolescence and 18-year-old young adulthood. These time periods are referred to as steps 1 through 4. The demo contains scenes from childhood and a brief look into adolescence. You'll be able to determine almost everything about the playable character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, skills, weaknesses, how they act, what they feel, and more. We love a customizable pro tag. And all of those details can change as you grow over the course of the game. However, they won't be forgotten. Ooh, wait, so does that leave potential for you to, like, become trans later on? That's interesting. Trans, non-binary, just grow into yourself and figure out who you are. Who you are and who you were is remembered by the game. Now that is fascinating. And the characters you meet, choices you picked in step 1 can still be referenced all the way in step 4. It builds together. The goal of our life is to let you truly live your own unique life in the quaint mountain town of Golden Grove. Oh, this is so cool. But there are also 2 lead characters who will grow up alongside your own MC. Tamarack Bauman and Chilin? I'm horrible with Chinese name. Chilin? No, it's not gonna be Chilin. Chi? We'll figure it out. You'll have the option of being their friend, pursuing one romantically, just having them be people you know, letting your connection change over time, and so on. Oh, I like that. Your relationship is customizable and progresses at whatever rate you want it to, if you want it to. Though there are a couple limits to what you can do. You can't date them both or break up with one after officially getting together. If you've had a lead become your romantic partner, that's permanent. Tamarack is a little girl with she/her pronouns when you meet her. She always identifies as a woman who uses she/her pronouns. Chiu begins the story as a little boy who has he/him pronouns but questions their gender as the years go by. Ooh! Chiu will ultimately come out as gender fluid. Oh, that's great. You don't usually see a lot of gender fluidity in games these days. Like, you see touches of it here and there, but not as often. Usually it's like, it's trans or non-binary, but not gender fluidity. Choose pronouns are only they, them in step 2. They use he, they in steps 3 and 4. Our Life Now and Forever doesn't include the option to romance a strictly male-identifying character. We do have another game, Our Life Beginnings and Always. That's the one that I see the most, if that's your preference. There will be other characters just realized my Mac was on. There will be other characters to interact with and befriend besides Tamarack and Chu, though those 2 are the main focal points. How well you get along with other kids, your teachers, your mom, and so on is still in your control. With those basics mentioned, the tutorial will move on to a new screen now to explain another major gameplay element. The first thing you'll do, and oh my god, I'm gonna spend a lot of time. I'm just gonna go through the tutorial real quick. This is important information, but also how much reading I know I'm gonna have to do, and not knowing how long this game is, I'm just gonna kind of skim it. First name, last name, add a nickname. It's customizable. This is a section. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot with customization here. Cool. Okay, customize our character. Oh my god, the chin. You. Got a little bit more of a rounder. Actually, that's a little bit more to my face. And so you've got the eyes. Ooh, okay. Kind of like the hooded ones more. Oh wait, were there more? No, that's just the set screen. Oh my god, so much hair. So many hair types. You can get just the back hair. You can get the front. Oh wait, that is just the hair front. Oh my god. Okay. Wow. There's so much. No, I'm kind of feeling a ponytail vibe. Let's see. Link hair color. Oh, okay. Let's oh my god. I can like fully do this however I want. Oh my god, wait. What am I doing? Okay. Oh my god. Okay, no, that's hideous. We're just gonna go with black. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, but we're figuring it out. Oh, those are so cute. You could totally have like a Mitsuri vibe from Demon Slayer. I think that will work. Let's see, accessories. That's adorable. That's also adorable. This is all adorable. I think I'm gonna go with that one though. Special layers. Special clothing at certain points in the story. You may want to dress your character in special clothing that reflects their cultural heritage. Oh, I love that. Okay, so that looks like a sari. Shit. That looks like not a kimono, but what the men wear. Okay, I see what they mean. Neck layers. Wanna give ourselves a scarf? Ooh, no, give me a puffy jacket. Head accessories. Do we got horns? I don't see no horns. So we're gonna say no. Glasses, I'm not gonna worry about too much. Earrings. Oh, those bows are adorable. You can't see them past the hair, though. Ooh. Okay. Extras. Scars. Oh, okay. We can get, like, full deep into this. Birthmarks. Vitiligo. Ooh. Okay. Oh, this is great. I do have freckles. We're gonna go with freckles. You can choose which hand you use? Talk about in-depth. Jeez. Okay. So we gotta go with Lily. Let's see. Frankie second. Okay. First name Lily. And oh no, don't skip. We don't want to skip. I don't know how to undo skip. I'm gonna go. Can I do full demonic? Yeah, there we go. Okay, tall, average, short. I'm gonna say average, and nobody needs to know otherwise. Is that black? Looks like dark brown to me. Well, it's like a black red. It's fine, Moldark. It's just meant to add shading and light reflections. Okay. Oh shit, you can choose to be intersex. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever actually seen that in a game before. Customize the identity of your MC, yada yada. That's fantastic, beautiful attention to detail. I am female though. I guess of these I'm female. Pronouns. I use she, her, but then I also use they, them. Allow random pronoun selection per scene, per line. I think just per line is fine. Here we go. Mix and miss. Usually use that. No, I am madam. Excuse you. Oh my god. How'd you like people to refer to you? Masculine, feminine, neutral leaning. Didn't mean to do that. Base it on my pronouns is fine. Now that you got your own character ready, you'll be able to influence the appearance of your biological mother. Oh my god, I get to make my mom? Wait, what? Did that just say she uses artificial insemination? What? Hey, yo! I completely missed that. Oh my god. I have no dad. Okay. Mom! Mummy! Mom! Mummy! Okay, let's give her a little bit of curly hair. Honestly, this is all fine. I ain't gonna worry too much about it. Your interface yeah, you stop right clicking. Interface display style, sticker. Different players using different stickers, and your sticker can change whether you whatever you want, yada yada. Alright. Choose a sticker. Ooh, okay, let's see here. I want to go for the books, so we're gonna do the books. Comic book layout, style layout without icons, a visual novel style layout without icons. With icons. Ooh, let's do the with icons. I always enjoy that. Alright, and now we are in the game. It looked like fall in Golden Grove. More like any place you'd seen before. It could be in one of your old picture books to show little kids what autumn was supposed to be. Okay, so I'm gathering now, based off of the description, that this is only going to take place during, the fall, during autumn. There weren't any green trees or bushes, but there weren't just bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal. All that had changed were the colors. Red, orange, yellow, brown. Even the blue of the sky high above your head seemed different than it did in summer. It wasn't as bright either, as though it had gotten tired of sparkling by this late in the year, or like it was even further away from you now now that you were in this place. The lands of sky didn't get this way where you lived, where you used to live. Your thoughts continued to jump around while you stood there in the big circle of street at the end of the road. It was a weird path to you. It couldn't take you ahead or to the sides or anywhere else like most streets you'd gone down. This one only came right here with those big houses. The view in front of you was something you'd only seen in photos before they stapled together papers that advertised the middle house being for sale. It had been a picture book to you until this day. So this is our home. And look at these very lovely bushes. The rest of the houses can suck it. They don't got hedges. Now you knew that it felt like fall here too, because it was cold outside. Chilly enough that you sometimes held your eyes closed for a few seconds longer than usual to try keeping your eyeballs from feeling they were gonna freeze inside your head. Ooh. This was a real place, the icy air surrounding you said, and you were really in it. And it was where you were gonna stay. That was new. Your mom and you had lived in apartments before, and never for very long each time. That was until she got a big job in this not that big town and bought a big house. You wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now in that moment, you couldn't imagine being there forever. But that's just the way it was. This old tan house at the very end of the long, round road was now your house, standing tall with two others by its sides. So I'm guessing that's where our two friends come into play. Those buildings were homes too, with their own people living inside. And those people in those ancient houses were going to be your neighbors. Okay, our first choice of the game. Now, it seemed okay to you. You felt kind of mixed up, excited about everything happening, mad. Wasn't much you felt about that. You sad, scared. That this would really be something, you thought. How much worse could it be than what it was like before? Coming there had given you hope. Maybe your future would be good. Yay, in the game cheer. Woo! Alright. Okay, so I am somebody who has had to move a number of times, after my mom's second husband. We were in a situation in which he wouldn't leave the house, so we kind of had to move, which sucked. And then we continued moving, like, every single year following that, and I never really enjoyed it. It was just kind of a hassle, and it got to the point that, when she moved to Alaska, when I inevitably heard that she was moving, back down, it was one of those things where at that point I never really unpacked any of my stuff, because I knew she was just gonna move again. So... At the end of it all, I think I'd probably be a little bit more mixed up inside. There was a lot of different feelings going around. Would it be better this way? Worse? Something else? You didn't know what to think. At least your mom was still with you, no matter what. You keep looking out for your mom. This is your mom's fault. Oh, hey, my horns! Thank you for the horns, Meek. Probably be scared. Yeah, everybody feels a little bit differently about moves. I know, I would definitely fall into the realm of saying this was my mom's fault. Particularly with my moves. But this isn't just supposed to be a reflection of my life, and honestly, I feel guilty for saying it's her fault, so... I'll just say at least your mom was still with you. You'd go through the bad stuff together. Lily, come on over and take a look! Oh, that was your mom's voice. You hadn't noticed she'd gotten so far. That was enough to bring you comfort. You made yourself move forward towards the unknown in order to reunite with her. Off the cul-de-sac road and cutting across lines of grass and sidewalk, you reached the picket fence your mom had called from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses in front of yours was a tiny gray stone walkway that led up a couple little steps, and those steps led to the door. I'll say, this art style is like really nice and clean and polished. It feels like fall, which obviously is the vibe that they're going for, but it's all warm tones and it's really nice and comforting. You dragged your feet along the rocks and dirt. A small private path was more uneven than you thought, and the tip of your shoe got caught on a raised edge between ground and stone. Oh no! It caused you to stumble up the line right before arriving at the end of the rocks. You steadied yourself before carefully going up the tiny stairs. Oh, see, that's a nice little detail. Like, they didn't have to say that you stumbled and tripped, but that was, like, absolutely something that you would do as a smaller child walking along stone steps like that. You always trip. They always get your shoe. Aww. She looks so nice and pleasant. And there your mom was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. She must have been moving around before because the shiny opal earrings she had on were twisting from side to side a little bit. You knew they were real opal stones because she'd told you before, when she first got them. She also told you a long time ago that her normal name, not Mom, was Opal. Such a childish view of thinking about that, too. Like, your name's not Mom? What do you mean it's not Mom? But you're Mom! Ah, she's Opal. Her clothes were the colors of a cloudy day after rain had already come and gone. The kind of day that could be cold and bad or really relaxing and comfy. It depended. You wondered which way she'd looked at it from. You didn't know. Lucifer, though, was so much more bold, especially the matching purpley cranberryness of both her hair and eyes. That's such a cute way of describing it. There weren't a lot of things out in the world with that color that could feel gloomy. Mom smiled at you, and made you feel as soft and warm on the inside as your mom was on the outside. What do you think? It's a pretty place, huh? I've seen worse junk! I'm gonna have my own room, right? It stinks. It stinks. It's okay, I hate this. You stared at her blankly, you nodded angrily, you shook your head furiously, you refused to even look at her. Oh my god, we could be... Oh, we could be so harsh in this game. I'm gonna go with it's okay, I guess. Kind of a little bit more of a neutral ground, you know? Impartial. I understand, my dear. Her mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but her eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she wasn't really smiling, or it was some other kind of smile. She put a hand on one of the white pane pull things that kept the porch roof from falling down. Her fingers moved along it. I don't even know what those are called. Oh, I made support beam. Won't be too much longer. The real estate agent should be here to hand over the keys in a couple hours or so. Then it'll be official. You'll be the newest residents of Golden Grove. You shifted your weight from one foot to the other. This is a big deal to your mom. Her whole life was changing too. You hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. You didn't want your mom to be sad. Well, you've seen the yard and the outside. You don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around the rest of the neighborhood? Damn, Mom, just letting me run off wild and free? Is this still the 21st century? She bent down, placing her hands on her knees in order to speak directly to you on the same level. Perfect. Talk to your child, not down to them. Mom knows what's up. Okay, I'm being nice to Mom from now on. It's a safe town, especially in this area. You'll be able to play freely out here. Ooh, I love that. Frown. Nah, we aren't gonna be mean to Mom. Mom is, like, being 10 out of 10, covering all the bases. You covered your face with your hands. You turned your face away in defiance. Please, you weren't a baby. What could possibly go wrong? Yay, perking up. Mom went back to her normal way of standing with her head up high and arms folded. That's the spirit. Enjoy yourself. Just don't stray into any other streets today. You didn't care about the rules, but you kept that to yourself. We're rebellious. Yes, Mom. Thank you. I trust you. That means so much. With that, you flipped around, bounded down the steps, and went back to the sidewalk ready to explore. Step 1. Prologue. She looks like she has very comforting hugs. She does. She looks like she gives the best mom hugs, truly. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. So, like, this weird part right here. The smell of the grass and rain softened around, crisp though somehow also kind of musty, hung in the air, bringing a whole new year of school with it. You're gonna be a 5th grader. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? It would be completely different from being a 4th grader, and not just because you'd be attending a new school. You'd be in the highest grade of the place. Ooh, we're on top of the world. We're a big kid now. Maybe that was why your mom was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. Not everything about that was a bad thing, you guessed. And then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely stronger than the wind, but it was definitely something. And it was completely out of nowhere. It's a ghost! Ma, this town is haunted! Both your fists went up defensively, you rubbed your shoulder, feeling annoyed at whatever it was. It was a ghost! It was a ghost! This town was haunted, and so are those old houses. It made sense. Rapidly, you ping-ponged your gaze from left to right, trying to get a glimpse at the poking perpetrator? Not penetrator. No, perpetrator. No one was there. The neighborhood was empty except for you. Holy shit, it is fucking haunted. Yes, you judged. It was an invisible ghost. Or you would have settled on that if you hadn't noticed there's a thing you could actually see left behind from the encounter. Sitting there in between the muddy brown blades of grass was something new. Oh, it's a paper airplane. A paper airplane? Who would throw this at a stranger? Why would they disappear after doing it? Oh shit, my foot's falling asleep. Ow. No, please don't. As you considered those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, the side of the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent this to you had to have gone that way. You crouched down to grab it, while keeping a lookout to make sure nothing else snuck up on you. Oh, we are on alert. That ghost ain't getting away from me. The paper didn't feel the same crinkly, crackly way most normal paper did. Ah, fuck, my foot! Ow, stop it! It was thicker somehow, almost like a piece of cloth. It was cottony. This was the... Ah, fuck. You know what? While my foot's asleep, I'm gonna get a cookie to get my circulation going. God damn it, I hate it! The cookies are good. That wasn't the only part that stood out. The page was a tan color with dark brown lines. Not white and blue or white and black or something regular. More questions to add to the confusion. Where would paper like that have come from? You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the underside. The paper had scribbles, or maybe even letters. We're in like full detective mode. That was enough of a sign to undo the shape someone had put together. You pulled at the flaps of the plane and flattened it out between your palms as best you could. It was true. The paper airplane had a message. Well, maybe. There were some words on it, but not a lot. And they were on different lines from each other. Written over each tiny part from the top to bottom. Hello. Go out. Hide. And then the bottom corner was... Lily didn't want to get... How the fuck do they know my name? Nuh-uh. This ghost has got to go. We're exercising this bitch right now. Your name. It had been addressed to you personally. There's no mistake that you were the one meant to get that plane. You scrunched up your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned it into a paper airplane, threw it at another person, and the message they sent was that? Yeah, it is a lot of effort for a couple of words. This was a mystery worth solving. Maybe the words were a code you had to break. You were gonna get to the bottom of this. Someone, or something, had to have said this to you. You weren't going to stop until he found out who and why. We will get to the bottom of it. Past the parts where the light shone through the clouds and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. The circle of houses was out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended. And it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street with homes or stores, there was the car road behind you and a bunch of trees and playing ground in front. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the town eventually, but you were sure that would be straying too far, like your mom had warned against. That was okay. You had other options. Ooh! Oh, this would be such a pretty place to, like, sit down and read a book with, like, your tea. Like, look at all the mushrooms! That chicken of the woods! That's right, that one tick doctor keeps me educated. You can do that. Emitting in between the dark trunks and bright leaves were two lines stamped out through the grass. They went in opposite directions. It was a crossroads. Ooh, wait, then is it demons? Nuh-uh, I don't mess with crossroad demons. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived here. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods. In your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. Ooh, you know exactly. I don't know where the hell I'm going. How could you know which one was better? You never tried either, and there were no clues on where to start now. It was a puzzle that made you pause. You thought about it as hard as you could, even shutting your eyes to focus. And then, finally... Ooh, tree line or the walking path? I mean, if we're going to find a secret hideout, you would think it wouldn't be along the main beaten road that so many people would take. That's just logical, right? Bolt, stop throwing paper airplanes. Yeah, Bolt! Let's go along the tree line to your right. And your quest continued. The hardest part of a visual novel is that you don't have time to eat your cookie. Everything about this game is just so soothing. The path ended up being kind of a trick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two, and became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of brush and tree trunks that separated the forest from not the forest to know where you were... going where you had planned to. Then, as you strolled even further, something came into view. Almost didn't notice it at first. Yay, did we find the hideout? It was in a park. Ooh, camera angles. Oh my god, that's so cool. Stretching about as high as the trees and made out of practically the same colored wood was a tower sort of thing. The bottom of it was mostly empty space with thin stick poles at the corners and only one full wall. There were little fake rocks stuck to the boards of the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was an actual floor with a slanty roof and railings around. Some ropes dangled off it in multiple places. The thought came to you that it had the same feeling as a tree house, except not in a tree. It definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. Yay! Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front, and that's when you came to a shocking realization that there was something up in there at the top. Eyes squinted to try and see more clearly, and your neck bent back so far that your head might fall off. You make out a lumpy pile. You gave the base of the tower a good shake with both hands. You grabbed onto the part sticking out to try climbing up there. Oh no, we're gonna go climbing. Reaching one hand higher and the other closer to anchor yourself, you grabbed hold of different fake rocks attached to the wall. You then situated one of your feet onto the lowest climbing point. You huffed and strained your arms to pull. The foot on the rock then carried all your weight as you lifted the other into the air. It was tricky, but you got the second foot against a rock of its own that was higher up than the first. You made it fully off the ground. Oh my god, this is so epic. We're doing it! We're doing it, guys! We're a climber! The sudden sound of a clattering ruckus from inside the fort made you flinch in place. It was a scrambling, thudding noise that you knew came from movement. That lump stopped being just a lump. It shot up, bent right over the railing, peered down, and saw you. Oh! You are adorable! Hi! Oh, I want to pinch their little cheeks! It was a kid. Who were they? You couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really deep brown. They had a pointy hairline. Like the fluffy hooded coat they had on. That was the prettiest person you'd ever seen. They are very pretty. Your hand started to shake as you held yourself up against the wall. You had to step back onto the grass. The person stayed put. The silent standoff of surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then altogether, one half of their mouth and one of their eyebrows and one of their hands shifted upwards. Oh my god, they're so cute! That lopsided pose they had and the fact that they were at the top of a tower made them seem pretty in charge here. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh shit, we're just casually trespassing here. That's lovely. Oh, they were in charge here. I didn't know this was your backyard. I'm sorry. I'm looking for something. Who are you? Hi, your backyard? There's no fence or anything. You're so pretty. I don't think you're pretty. You hadn't known. Oh my god. Wait. No, we gotta be a Dorgers. It just isn't worth it. So pretty. The kid was taken aback for a second, clearly having not expected that. You hadn't been prepared for it either. What were you doing? I am being a menace because they're adorable and cute. They stopped being confused. Instead, they laughed. It was light and sparkly and honest. You know, I could say the same about you. Oh my god. Hey! Hey, no, this is about embarrassing you, not me. Stop it! What was that kid doing? What was happening? At that, they pressed the palms of their hands hard against the railing, then used it to kick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves right off the fort. There was a powerful crunch and gust of air when the person hit the ground, just a little to the side of where you were. They landed on their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hood of their jacket flip over their head from the impact of falling so far down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stirred up settled quickly into the grass again. Aww. Then the kids straightened themselves out with more poise than you could have expected. I need an anime of this, like, right now, please. Squared shoulders, chin up, and with one hand, they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident and knew how to show it. That's that. Why would you do that? You could have crushed me. Your left speeches. It was impressive. It was impressive. It was crazy. It really impressed you. Anyone could have done that. It was... Can I do it? Maybe sometime. They took hold of the open sides of their jacket and flapped them out, shaking off bits of stick and whatever other stuff they got on it when they collided with the dirt. Anyway, they shifted their head around to get their hair back over their shoulders, the way it was before, and then jabbed a finger into their own chest. I'm Mr. Qiulin. Qiulin. It means... Oh, this is true. They're adorable. I love him. Please, I just... Oh! The Chu's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world around them. Okay, wait, no. I can't continue on saying their name like that without knowing how to properly say it. How to pronounce Qiu. YouTube, help me. Not like commercials. What is that voice? Oh my god. Okay, actually, I was kind of right. Yeah. I mean, I obviously got the accent wrong, but... Shoot. I mean, this is the gender fluid character, Moldark. I mean, obviously they aren't out yet. If I had to guess, probably around like adolescence or early adulthood. That's usually when people fully come out. You know your identity. A lot of people start to realize their identities a lot sooner in life. Traditionally, around 12 is when people start questioning identity, sexuality, stuff like that, and like just not like maybe fully, but just getting a sense of like where they are in life. Let's see, and we're like 10-ish right now, so I would say probably adolescence, the next stage is. That's my prediction. Both of Chu's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world all around. Autumn, nice to meet you. What's your name? I'm Madame Lily Demonic Angel. Why did you say it so fancy? Sure, full name and title you had to write down in the dirt. But shouldn't the U become before the Q? Oh! The name is literally Autumn, that's why. Why did you say it's so fancy? My parents taught me. Mom said it's polite. Dad says it's useful. They're both right. Some people might get it by themselves, and some people might ask about it, but a lot of people won't. Now nobody has to. I like it. Thank you. But hey, that's still about my name. What's your whole name? I want to know. He was persistent enough that she gave him your name in the end. I'm Madame Lily Demonic Angel. That was perfect, Madame Lily Demonic Angel. Yes, I am gonna say it like that every time. Suffer. Oh, the people should call me Lily. Only my mom uses my name. But my friends always call me Lily. Everybody always calls me Lily. Cool. I've got a nickname too. It's Autumn. Because, like I said, that's what my name means. You can use it if you want. Alright. Wait, and also, how old are you? We seem pretty similar to me. I'm 10. With your fingers, not answer. That's none of your business. How dare you ask a lady her age? No, I'm just 10. Chu slapped his fingerless gloved hands against the front of his chest to show just how taken aback he was. Oh, I love him so much. Whoa, so am I. Nobody else close by what... Oh, nobody else close by. Oh my god. Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before, but now there's you. You're gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too. But that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. They're so cute. Yeah, this is great. Okay. Even if we are the same age, I still act older than you do. Oof. You give a big thumbs up. That's what I would do. More 10-year-olds are better than less. But the talk you were having ended with a clear clap from Chu to bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I still want to hear what you were doing. I've lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house, and I've never seen you anywhere. There's gotta be something going on. Oh yeah, I just moved in, like, next door. Well... You reached into your pocket and presented the mystery paper to Chu, wanting your own explanation. But before you even said anything about it, Chu wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as the wood tower behind him, just like that. Why? You're a what? What am I? He stammered and babbled and pointed his finger all around the space that was sort of in front of you, until the word finally came to him. A sorcerer! I am? I have magic? Where's my Hogwarts letter? Where's my letter and acceptance to literally any magical training program? Where is it? I've been robbed. What? No, wait. Chu threw his hands up higher towards his shoulders, the sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! Okay, that's rude. I may be in the Dark Brotherhood, but that doesn't mean that I'm a thief. That's why you're here, to rob my house. That's alright, I'm gonna steal all your stuff. Oh my god. So you're the only one on the list, by the way. You did not bribe me and I did not hear the cookies. I don't know what you're talking about, Moldark. What cookies? I never said cookies. There are no cookies being eaten anymore. They're all gone. I didn't finish chewing my cookie. I mean, my not cookie. It's not a cookie. No, I'm magic. I'm a sorcerer and a thief. How do you sound so excited about that? You think I'm gonna rob you? No, you're right before. I'm magic, bitch. Sorry, I'm not gonna be distracted. Once I see something, I don't unsee it. I'm like a hawk. Do you really think I'm a robber? He got all fluttering with his laugh and waving of his fingers. No, you're just a kid, but you got some good tricks. Stu tucked one of his hands inside his jacket, moved it around in there, humming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket or compartment in that coat. Aha! You! Just as he thought, when he removed his hand, he was grabbing onto something. His little notebook. The edges are bent up and crumbling, probably from being squished a lot of ways and a lot of times. And there were papers sticking out in weird ways that made you think that they weren't even attached to the book anymore. They were just smashed between other pages to keep them in place. But the thing you noticed the most were the colors, tan with dark brown lines. It was the paper from the airplane. Q flipped open the book, tapped in a slow, considering rhythm at the front page of the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without you having to do anything. That's my special paper, with my notes on it. But it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket. Must have done the thing that's sleight of hand. Sleight of hand. That's what you did to snatch my stuff in the blink of an eye while I was standing right here. So you're a magician or a pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture at the notebook. She was really confident in his accusation against you. Can you show me how you do it? But that wavy motion Chu did was too much for the old notebook. It bent in half upwards and downwards with the momentum of its owner's arm. Oh, that poor notebook. Some of the paper slid out. They drifted on the ground lightly, the same way leaves fell from trees. You stared right at them, sitting there freely like that. Chu didn't. You lost it, buddy. You're right. I don't know how that paper disappeared from you. Maybe you just dropped a paper and somebody picked it up. Yep, it was definitely because I'm magic. You didn't notice, but look at the ground. Wait. I've already shown you my trick. You didn't notice, but look at the ground. Huh? His eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards more to fully clear his view of the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing pages. Whoa! Thanks! In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees to scoop up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to be gathered. He leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. From there, he got hit. Oh, my throat is already hurting. From there, he got his feet against the ground while pushing up with his hands still clutching the papers so he could stand again. With that successful rescue mission done, Chu delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end. Then Chu's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helped, Lily. A beaming oh, so adorable. A beaming smile directed right into your face almost had you covering your eyes. Before that happened, he looked away. Chu twisted to the side to better rummage through words do not work inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that the entire sack of papers made it back safely this time. He heard a sigh of relief. In an even, swooping move, Chu tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. He had that smirk again. So, did you see that? I don't lose anything. You only saw it because I helped. Just saying. Your cheeks got hot from embarrassment. Next time I'm not gonna tell you about it. Smiling, Chu leaned a lot more forward, all the way onto his tippy toes. He stayed up and put his hands against his chest like it was nothing. You didn't know how he stood on them so well. I don't know about that. You seem really nice. You'd help me out again. Thanks. Chu's fun with your reaction came out as a set of snickers. His cheeky mood drifted away once those were done. Chu twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. Made sure that the notebook made it back to its normal spot. Didn't I just read that line? When he tilted his face back towards you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. My paper vanished and a brand new kid appeared in my backyard. All out of nowhere. I don't get it. Chu, I'm your neighbor now. I moved into the middle house on the street. Oh, the new neighbors! That's right! That's you! It makes so much sense. Then Chu shook his head side to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around and trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're just my new neighbor, not a thief or a sorcerer, hey, I could still be a sorcerer. How'd you know that was my paper? I didn't know. Not for sure. What, you were showing off my notes to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Aww. You breathed in, let it out, and then tried to explain the weird situation that didn't even make sense to you. I got here today with my mom. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend time doing something. I went down the road and a paper airplane hit me in the shoulder and nobody was there. Chu nodded along, probably not getting everything you were talking about, but curious enough to just keep listening. I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message. I've been looking for whoever did it since. When I met you, I had to check if you were the one who did it. You went over the steps that led you to this point as best you could. Chu joined in with the conclusion. It wasn't me who made any airplane, but the page and things on it are mine. It's magic. It is a ghost. It's a magic ghost. I'm telling ya. He put his hands on his hips. He thought hard about the info he'd learned from you. I mean, someone else somehow got a piece of paper from my notebook and used that to make the plane they chucked at you for some crazy reason? I guess so, but if you were the one who wrote that, how did you know my name? That was on the note. What are those other words supposed to mean? Hello? Go out? Hideout? Lily demonic angel? Doesn't make sense. Oh! Chu cracked a smile and flicked out his arms to start his own explanation. That's just stuff I was gonna do. Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Chu listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello. Say hi to the people around. Go out, visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout. Chu stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. That's all stupid. Wow, rude. If that's a hideout, why would you tell me it's a hideout? I'm spitting facts here. It's clearly pulled, or wait, if it's magic, then it can't be. I mean, it could still be pulled. We don't know if he's magic. No, I agree. It's probably not pulled. You seem all right. You can know about it, but don't tell anyone else. Ah, right. Yeah, for your name being there, my mom and dad told me. They talked about how. Shit. They talked about how people were moving in next door and how there was gonna be a kid my age and their name was Lily Demonic Angel. It was cool to me, so I wrote it down. That way I wouldn't forget. And I even took out and read that page a lot to make sure it'd be something. I remembered. Looks like I forgot after all. Thanks for trying to remember anyway. I don't know why you're confident when you got everything wrong. There's such a scatterbrain. I can't believe you forgot who I was after your parents told you everything. Nah, we're gonna be joking about it. You're such a scatterbrain. Chu patted the front of his jacket with all the surety in the world. You guessed that was where the pocket with the notebook was set. More like an organized brain. But now I'm gonna stick with you now. Whoever took my paper is still out there and you were their target. Maybe you're not a sorcerer or thief, but what if the paper airplane person is? We'll figure it all out and you won't have to worry about anything. Aww, this is something I need to do on my own. My path is a lonesome one. You're not in agreement, you shook your head. No thanks, I would've been scared to go alone. You can come, I was gonna ask anyways. Yes, new friend. Super, do we have a plan? You stood up tall, accepting your now partner on this trip, and laid out the next part. Yeah, I know which way we should go now. You have to go back to the spot in the forest with 2 dirt paths. I know that place. It's right nearby. Let's do this! And so... Oh, I'm gonna need some more water. You started to walk along the autumn tree line now with your new partner in the adventure. Shu came alongside you with bold, certain steps. You were gonna find that paper airplane person. This is our life's journey. We shall find them, and we shall find the hidden meaning in their actions. Soon, you reached the head of the path. You're at the crossroad once more, but you brought back knowledge, and this new boy with you. Alright, we did that one. It's where you were, and down there is just a car road. You stood by Chu, gesturing around animatedly with both hands. You didn't know if this helped him understand better, but you couldn't keep still. But there's that way over there on the other side. You bent your knees, stretched out both arms, and pointed across the forked passage to where the second dirt imprint was. Chu couldn't possibly miss it with your direction. Oh my god, I can see it too. So dramatic. This is like the perfect game for me in that case, Moldark. Y'all know I'm a dramatic bitch. Chu couldn't possibly... Yeah, there we go. With a tilt of his head, Chu grinned in agreement. That makes sense to me. The decision easily made. Your and his crunching footsteps started up again in unison. And still, your quest continued. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wild woods. Nothing else surrounded you any longer. Does this count as going outside the neighborhood? Nature spread across the land with the narrow dirt line and fence being the only sign anyone had walked in the spot before you. People were only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rustled against each other in thick clumps with each tree's branches flowing into the others nearby. It was enough to keep the sky and sun out almost completely. The leaves burned bright with the light basking over them from above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around up higher into the mountainside, farther than you could see. Ooh, you were amazed. I would be amazed. This is your kind of place. Boring. Oh! I can also scroll to go back. You regretted coming out here. The forest it was dirty and icky. Nah, this is my kind of place. With your wide, wondrous gaze thrown every which way, you let yourself flow deeper into the thicket. Aww! You watched your face. Your good mood was enough to rub off on him. I hang out in the neighborhood or the other parts of town most of the time, but woods can be cool too. Really? Why don't you visit more often? It's right by your house. I've lived here forever, every day of my whole life. Stuff's always going on with people in the neighborhood and in town. The forest is the same whenever you come back. Trees, bushes, some birds. It's kind of weird when you think about it. Besides the plants looking different when the seasons change, it's like time doesn't exist here. Casually, she lifted up his hands from the sides, only to gesture them downwards to the forest floor. And hey, you know, this path we're walking on has always been here, even before I was born. He strolled along, kicking out a little piece of rock on the road and looking straight ahead. It's probably been around for as long as this place has been Golden Grove, or longer. For a second, he was thinking so hard the smile he almost always had went away. Then something made him chuckle and he pointed over to the side. But that fence is kinda new. I remember there just being the dirt when I was little. That's the only thing that's ever gotten different out here. Wow. The quiet bubble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped from a sudden, unnatural clatter. Ooh, is this gonna be our other neighbor? He stopped. Your mom told you to stay on the street, pretty sure you left. Yeah, we'll be fine. It was a whooshing, thumping, and stirring up of the leaves, like something had crashed into them. You and Chu shared a look, both checking that the other heard it too. That wasn't me, and that wasn't you either. Yep. You knew for sure that it wasn't the wind. It had to have been an animal, or a person. And it came from right over there. That thrilled Chu. His voice shrunk into an eager whisper. It could be them! The mystery paper airplane sender! Let's go before they get away! You picked up a stick to throw that way just to see if something happened. Oh my god, I want to be a menace. While keeping your gaze trained forward, you bent down and felt around for a good-sized branch, or something else that you'd be able to throw far, but still have enough weight to get around the trees. Once you wrapped your fingers around a chunk of bark that'd work, you stretched your arm back behind your head and threw the stick in front of you. It flung forward and noisily disappeared into the brush. You couldn't see where it landed, the leaves swallowing it up whole. But that's all that happened. Nothing jumped out at you. It just got quiet again. Aww. At least it did before Chu began to snicker under his breath. Hey! That's probably not going to be enough to figure out what happened. We've got to investigate with our own eyes. Come on. Well, I'm just fending off predators and keeping us safe, so there. Confident that she joined him, Chu began to make his way across the forest. You decided to just take a peek. You followed after him. You pulled up your socks and began to make your way off the path then through the overgrowth. Why am I pulling up my socks? It was harder to keep your footing on the slanted, untrimmed ground. When you reached a really tree-cluttered spot, you grasped the branches and pushed them aside in order to open enough space for you to get past. You moved them the same way you'd open up a set of curtains. It was a lot harder to do. The tiniest branches couldn't take the bend and snap from the pressure. You'd feel the splintery ends of the plants scratch a little at your face and clothes. It wasn't as smooth of an entrance as you'd hoped it would be. Okay, I need to get some more water real quick. My throat is getting scratchy. Give me 2 seconds. I'm not gonna bother putting it on the be right back string. There. On the other side of that tree line was still the woods, but kind of an empty part. There was a lot of open ground with no trees or bushes growing and a ton of leaves that were gathered into piles. Past that clearing, the trees were back in even more closely pressed together than they were by the path. It was mysterious. There was nowhere easy to go, and the thing seemed out of place to you until... Tiny child! Aww! She's adorable! Hello! There was a shout and a new whirlwind of leaves rushing through the air. From underneath one of the piles was another kid. You knew that was going to happen! Who was this person? You couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really red. They had sparkly hair, you noticed. You like the scarf they had on. There were leaves stuck to their hair and clothes. You were wrong before. This person was the prettiest you'd ever seen. This is the second prettiest you'd ever seen. Oh my god. Well, I mean, they could both be pretty. You stared at them, and they looked right back at you as everything they threw into the air gently drifted back down. They're adorable. Hi. You scared me. Do you live out here? You're crazy. How did you know we were here? Were you waiting for us? You're pretty. So pretty. We were gonna catch someone, but you got us. That got the stranger giggling. Yeah! I got you! Chu folded his arms across his chest. He blinked slowly and thoughtfully. He usually had plenty to say, but in that moment, he was left as stumped as one of the actual stumps in this forest. Wait here! The jumping jack kid hopped again, but this time was to get up off the ground. They dashed to the opposite edge of the open space, leaves scattering behind them, dropping out of their clothes and being kicked up by their steps. This game is so fucking cute! You were already wondering what was gonna happen next. Watching them go, Chu finally found some words. It's another person I've never seen before today? Isn't this our other neighbor? How have you guys never met? He twisted around so the top of him was angled more toward you. He brought one of his hands to the side of his mouth and held the other close to his chest, pointing subtly in the direction the stranger went. Lily, do you know this Leaf Kid? No. Chu, you're the only person I've met here. Yeah, true. Chu's arms fell back down like limp noodles, but he never took his eyes off the other person. He was definitely curious. They were behind one of the tall, crooked trees. The kid began throwing sticks and other plant pieces around. They were uncovering a hidden treasure, a big brown bag. They had to use both hands to lift the pouch and get it over their head. The thick strap pulled tight under the strain of the weight attached to it. The line of their mouth looked just as strained. Oh my god, girl is tough. The stranger huffed when they released the bag from their fingers, letting it rest completely across their shoulder. You heard stuff bumping around inside from your position way over here. It was a really full back. But it did slow that kid down. They ran back at full speed to meet you where you were. But when they were in front of your face, they gave a wave and asked a question. Hi! Are you girls too? Oh. I mean, one of us. Chu gestured to the front of himself casually. I'm a boy. Mr. Chu Lin. Q-I-U and L-I-N. I'm getting a call. Who gave me a... Well, that was some fun information to receive in the middle of a game. So like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I have to leave around 6:30, 7 o'clock because I'm going to a soccer game. And this soccer game happens to also be Hispanic Heritage Night. And I guess the giant orange in charge of this country decided he's gonna send a bunch of ICE agents to the town that I'm in. So if you guys don't hear me for a while, I'm not a person of color, but I'm also not gonna just be quiet and not, you know, record or help how I can, so that, yeah, be warned if you don't hear from me for a while, it, either because I'm hurt or who knows what else. But, getting back to the game. Chulin! Wow, okay. Hi, Chu. The kid turned their attention to you. Are you a girl? Well, yes, sometimes, kind of, not totally. They said Chu's shyly, not wanting to talk. Well, yes. And she sung her own praises in a chiming tone. Both girls! Both girls! And all of a sudden, the leafy girl seemed to remember to introduce herself the way most people do. Everyone is so cute. They are so cute. Mom told you to stay on the street. Pretty sure he left. Oh, wait, that was an old message. Tamarack. Tamarack? That's a tree! It is? Isn't that a normal word and not a name? You simply nodded. Tamarack is a real name. That sounds nice. Thanks. A tamarack is a kind of tree. I like it a lot. Oh my god, look at all the leaves. Drew grinned widely at her enthusiastic introduction. It fits you. What's your last name? Bauman? Cool. Miss Tamarack Bauman. You know, my name means autumn. That's amazing. It's a match too. How do people know how to do that? And my name means nothing. I think we're just lucky. Lots of kids don't have the right ones. Yeah. So what's your name? The girl you now knew as Tamarack sent the question your way, since Shu already gave his out. I'm Madam Lily Demonic Angel. Oh my god, I could just give her items. Shu politely applauded your way of saying it with an appreciative smile. Wow, hi Lily. She gave you with a finger spread wave of her hand, as sweetly as if you'd known each other and she'd done it 100 times, as if you'd always known each other. You think yours fit too? Your name? Sometimes. Sometimes my name just feels completely and totally foreign. But all my friends always call me Lily. Ooh, alright. It's cool. Nice to meet you, Tamarack. Maybe. He pointed a suspicious finger her way as he made another point with words. There's only one house for sale anywhere near this neighborhood. Lily lives there now. Where did you come from? Unless you're Lily's mom. There are so many problems with that. Tamarack was completely tickled by the idea, giggling and covering her mouth with her hands. She didn't do a good job at stopping any of the laughter from getting out. No, I'm not a mom. I moved in with my Omi and Oppa. She Korean? Omi and Oppa is grandma and grandpa. Okay. I'll just listen quietly for now. Omi and Oppa means granny and grandpa. I've never heard of that. Is it another language? Oh, it's German! Okay. Uh-huh, it's German and they're German. Cool! There's a granny who lives there and a guy that's her husband. That's your Omi and Oppa? I think so, probably. Omi has really long hair and Oppa has short hair and some of it is on his face. Yeah! Chu bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Granny and him have a kid now? Huh. Wow. Um... Nifty. Yeah. I've been here 5 days and it's really good. There's so much out here. I probably won't be finished for a long, long time. Months, maybe. The loudness of Chu's voice shot up. He was shocked and confused. 5 days? That's almost a week and I've never even seen you. Where have you been this whole time? I said so before. I've been here. Tamarack used one foot to push against the ground and the other to stay upright, spun around in place. Aww. I play in the forest every day. She's adorable. They're all adorable. They're so cute and squishy. I want to hug them. After getting the answer, he went normal volume again, but kept frowning. Aw, well, you can come with me and my friends if you wanted to. We hang out in the neighborhood and in town in my backyard and stuff. If you see us, just walk over and join. You don't have to worry. They'll like you, and you can talk to me if you don't know what to do. She only shrugged, and the shoulder without the bag strap went up higher. Maybe. There wasn't a lot of interest with Chu's offer. He finally grinned again, watched Tamarack with a tilted head. You're your Oppa, huh? No one ever really sees him around either, even though he's lived here for 1,000,000 years. Tamarack squished her cheeks between her fingers, delighted. He likes his office a whole lot. This is my very first day in Golden Grove. Wow, that's barely different at all. We're a match. She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could as a new idea came to her. Hey, we're both girls and he's not, but are any of us the same age? I'm 10. We're all 10. We are the same, all 3 of us. Well, I'm 10. Fuck you. We are the same, all 3 of us. Hooray! Same age forever! We're best friends forever now. Oh my god. Happily, Tamarack held on to the worn strap of her big bag and bounced up and down in place. He decided that this was the perfect time to talk to her about everything that had happened. The paper might have been Chu's, but it was possible she was the one who sent it to you. Tell me the truth. Are you the paper airplane person? Oh, yeah. You got it? Aww. The little hearts. Yes, I got it. It's right here. Woo! She flung her arms up over her head in celebration, knocking her bag out to the side. It made a thump noise when it swung back against her. That game is good. You blinked at her in disbelief. You'd truly done it. My lifelong goal is accomplished. You found the mystery person who owned the paper in the first place, and the person who actually sent it to you as a paper airplane. And she was entertaining. She was loud. You couldn't believe the trouble she set off. You smiled at yourself shyly. She was so cute. She is so cute. But you weren't the only one who had a reaction to the results. All right. Nice, Lily. Your wide eyes and Chu's cheers at Tamarack excitedly looking between you and him, not knowing what the celebration was about, but wanting to join. Yeah, it was. Your throw was perfect. Thanks. And yay for the trash doing something nice. The trash? Trash? He brought both his hands up to his face and pressed his fingertips into his cheeks with great drama. You got that right. It's garbage. What was that about never losing things, Chu? With wrinkled brows, Chu shifted his hands more to the side so he could instead tug at the front strands of his hair, pulling them out fully straight. I don't know how it's possible. You wouldn't maybe be a sorcerer or a thief, would you, Tamarack? No. Too bad. Covered your eyes in the ridiculousness. He sighed. He smirked widely. That how about he was so adorable. Tamarack and you both laughed, the sound harmonizing. Chu finished his pout, straightening up and putting his hands solidly on his hips. He was back to being in control. You know, there's nobody out there who's perfect. I accept my mistake, and I'm sorry to you, Forrest, for messing up the place. That's really nice of you to say, Chu. Thanks. I think it forgives you. Cool. Watching the 2 kids interacting, you started thinking about this more and more, going over the whole experience in your head. Your turning thoughts were put on pause when Tamarack suddenly changed the subject. What are you two gonna do now? I've gotta go back. My mom is waiting for me. And I'll walk Lily there. I gotta make sure she doesn't get lost out here. Aw, such a gentleman. I should probably see how my Omi and Oppa are too. They're pretty old and need help sometimes. She took a big hop closer to you and Chu, a smile growing across her face as she landed. We could go back together! Yeah! No, it's just me and Chu. Okay, Tamarack, bought you! You nodded in agreement. You relaxed your stance, accepting that this was really over now. Woohoo! Tamarack snatched up a nearby stick off the ground and directed the pointy end forward the way you had come from. To our houses! While chuckling, Chu used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air. Homeward bound! Oh, we're going back, successful people. Oh my god. We're going back, successful people. Yeah! She cupped her hands around her mouth to make it extra loud. We are victorious! And so, you started to walk through the brown fall brush to get back to the neighborhood again, but you weren't going to be alone there. Tamarack bounded ahead, bouncing her arm up and down the stick like she was the conductor of a marching band, while Chu came alongside you with even, casual steps. You were returning to that house. Oh my god, the light shading! That's so cool! Your new neighborhood had become even more orange toned by the time you finally returned to it. The far-off sun slowly sank away behind the tallest mountains and forests to sleep for the night. Your shadows grew larger, pulling away from your bodies to reach out into the street ahead. The dark shapes morphed and combined with one another as you walked in your own mismatched rhythm. All while the eyeball chillingness of the outside world got more powerful bit by bit. Tamarack still stayed about 2 steps ahead. Sometimes she was closer and sometimes she got away from you again. She used her stick to knock at the bushes and lamps along the sidewalk. Chu was next to you, but switched things up so that he was taking large skips backwards. He guessed it was to look at you in the face better, or he just thought it was fun. He pointed out the sharpest building on the street as he went. Part of it looked almost like a tower, a different kind than the one in the backyard. See? That's the house from the front. It's great! So this one right here? And I guess this one is Tamarack's. And that's your house, right? The one in the middle. And Granny owns that even further away one. Cool! The sound of your steps continued to echo through the cul-de-sac until you came to a stop right in the center of the path. You'd arrived. Okay, this is it! Chu pulled out an eager grin. We've got to meet up again later. See you, Lily and Tamarack. Chu flipped around to go back the same way he had come with you. He needed to return to the pointy red house with the huge backyard. He didn't drop any papers this time. Bye! Goodbye! Tamarack put both of her hands up in front of her chest and waved them around. I'm going home too! Tamarack spun in place before dashing further along the sidewalk to the sloped, gray house on the other end of the neighborhood. Her bag clunked and jingled at her side the whole way there. You waited there in front of the house in the dimming evening light, watching the 2 other kids go to their homes right on the same street. Aww. You waved your hands in the air and jumped. Yes! This was everything. The whole outing was done. The quiet resolution of your first day in this place, the 2 encounters you had earlier that afternoon drifted through your head. You and Tamarack. Ooh, now you're at the stage where you get to set your dynamic with Tamarack and Chu. Our life now and forever has a specific way of constructing the personalized relationship you have with the 2 neighbors you grew up with. It's called dynamics. This encompasses how your character and that character feel about one another and how they generally interact with each other. It doesn't determine if your character is shy or confident or sociable or unsociable. That's done through the phrasing/actions you pick in normal choices. This is only setting how you and the 2 leads tend to think/approach things on a top line level. These settings can be the same for both Tamarack and Chu, or be entirely different from one over the other. The first part of the dynamic system is what you set for your relationship standing. Your chosen relationship standing is always mutual with the other character. It's possible to change your standing at the start of each step, and even at certain points within a step, at least normally. There are some settings that can't be changed once you pick them. I'm guessing that's gonna be like family and beloveds. The 5 main options for your relationship standing are neighbors, friends, family, crushes, and beloveds. Neighbors usually mean there's someone you know, and it's nothing more meaningful than that. Well, that's lame. We aren't gonna be picking just neighbors. They're already like my besties. I love them. Whether they're still amicable or completely cold or even hostile is up to you. Oh my god, why would you ever want to be hostile? Friends means that you're friends, yada yada. Family, you also won't be able to change this setting to anything else. Once you've picked it, it's completely certain and unwavering. You can bring both Tamarack and Chu into your proverbial family. Crush just means that you have a crush. Da-da-da. You can also go steady with Tamarack or Chu. If you begin dating one of them, your standing on the dynamic screen will change to partners instead of crushes. Ooh. Oh. In step 4, a polyamorous relationship can be pursued if you want. Oh my god, okay, so you don't have to choose if you don't wanna. The way that will work is that Chu and Tamarack would be in a committed platonic relationship with each other, and can be in a committed platonic or romantic relationship with the MC. Chu and Tamarack won't be romantically involved with each other regardless of the choices the MC makes. Okay. If you do date one or both, you can't break up with them. The partner status can't go away once you get it. It is possible to change simply crushes to one of the other options if you want to. Okay. Da-da-da! Oh, fiancés. There's no requirement to get married or even date. What you do or don't do with your feelings of love is up to you. The leads will respect your set boundaries. Aww. You are beloveds and make the choices where you're hoping to get married but haven't asked yourself. Your partner can be the one to propose instead. Aww. The MC will accept the proposal by default because the game believes they want that. You can't convince your partner to think marriage is a good idea and then reject them when they pursue it. Hey. Oh. Ta-da. If they need them, they need to look out for them. Or are they at the same level? Okay. Starting at step 2, if you're more than just neighbors, a 4th expression element meter unlocks. Envious of, not jealous, jealous over. Ooh. You'll always be just not jealous. Da-da-da. Oh my god, there is so much to that. Okay, well, obviously we're gonna be friends first. We are not just neighbors, we are besties! So we are team working, teasing, well, and accepting. I like that. We are friends, and we are team working, maybe unassuming for right now, and then admiring. Things are so different for you from just that morning when you left and went on the drive to move. Before then, you'd never been in Golden Grove. You'd seen it only in pictures and hadn't known anybody who was a local there. But here you were, a person who lived in the town and was friends with the neighbors on both sides of your house who also lived here. Were you friends? You thought so. Lily, is that you? Your mom called from over the fence. Coming! You bounded forward and passed through the gate. Mom had left the porch and was there to meet you. Thank you for coming back. I'm sure you were having an exciting time out there. It was great. You're never gonna believe what happened. Everything was amazing. I met people, Mom, kids my age. I I'm so glad. I look forward to hearing all about it. From strength to strength, we've got the key to the house. The agent finally arrived about 20 minutes ago. Jesus Christ, that took a long time. He's gone now, but I haven't peeked yet. The both of us should be here for this. It's your house, too. Yeah, this is our house now. Absolutely. Come on. Mom turned to go and slipped the key from out of her sweater pocket. She gestured with the other hand for you to follow. Mom led the way as you went back up the stairs. The key fit perfectly into the hole in the door. Mom smiled at the sound of an unlocking click. Oh, hi, kid! That's a lot of choices. That is a lot of choices. I'm doing good. I'm having a whole lot of fun with this game. Also, sorry, I'm like so focused on the words. This game is so cute. It's hard to look away. I gotta remember to check my chat. Carefully she leaned forward with her shoulder, giving it a nudge, unsure if the best option for the ancient door was extra force or extra restraint. The house opened with a creak. Air came out through the front like it was exhaling. Mom let out a breath at the same time. Over here, Lily. There's a space for you to get a little closer. You can see inside here. You scooched towards your mom's side in the doorframe. It was then that you noticed that there was a mat at the front. It had a light color and a kind of hard but fluffy texture. The sort of mat that'd get dirty looking right away when it was used, but it was still clean and nice. It hadn't been worn down at all like the rest of the building. This part of the house wasn't just an old thing left behind by other people who didn't need it or want it anymore. Someone must have put it there for this happening, for your mom and you moving in. Written across the top it said, "Welcome home." Ah, my heart. Mom softly tapped the top of your shoulder, bringing you back into the moment. She kept the hand there, leading you ahead with her. Two of you walked through the door. Everything in the air was still. The wind was blocked, but it was practically as cold inside as it was out of the house. Yeah, like familiar. Have seen it in Steam. Yeah, I've seen it on Steam. I've seen it a lot around social media a lot. Mom shifted forward cautiously, feeling around for a light switch. Got it! Oh wow. A dim light from the ceiling sparked on in an instant, and there, in front of you, was an old-fashioned living room. The house had furniture that came along with it, but it wasn't a set. The pieces were mismatched, each chair, table, and bookshelf in a different color. They were covered in transparent sheets of plastic, and in dust. The room had a real fireplace made out of brick. In the back, you could see a staircase going up to another floor. Beautiful! It's even better than the photos. So much potential inside these walls. You were amazed to fit in a storybook. You're disappointed. It blew your old apartment out of the water. This place was so haunted. Maybe it was just tamaracking through the paper airplane, but this is where the ghosts actually were. Damn right. Your mom touched the tips of her fingers to the muted blue paint next to her. We'll have to clean as much as we can to make it livable before bed. It'll be a long night. We're gonna pack more of our things tomorrow. No, I'll be doing much of that on my own. You're going to be busy. Mom increased the pitch of her voice, squinting her eyes sweetly. After all, it's the first day of 5th grade. Oh, you groaned. You'd hope she had forgotten. Yeah, I glared at her. She let out a breath gently while watching you. We got here just in time, clearly. Her eyes drifted closed and there was a crease in her brows. She seemed further away without having gone anywhere. Even if I'm here early for the job, I was not going to make you be a full week late to class. Damn it, Mom! Being new to a town like this is already going to make you a point of attention. You couldn't tell if she thought that was a good thing or a bad thing by her tone, but Mom didn't say anything more about that. She lifted her circle scarf over her head, careful to not have it catch on her earrings, and left it on top of her suitcase. So, want to see the upstairs? Yeah! The second floor was more of the same. Lonely, sealed-away rooms with furniture nobody had been using for ages that were covered up by plastic sheets. And lots of dust. You could see the footprints your mom left behind in the grime, and as she wandered the halls with wide, amazed eyes. After checking the state of the whole house, Mom made the decision to leave the furniture in its protection until after the sweeping was finished. There were too many dust bunnies that might jump over to take a seat on your couches if a spot was available. I hope I can remember where I put that dustpan. The broom itself shouldn't be hard to find. You returned to the living room after Mom got her trusty pair of crafting scissors out of her suitcase. She put her scarf inside it when taking the scissors out. Mom then went through some of the taped up boxes like it was her birthday, and each one was a shiny, unopened present with a ribbon on top. But her gift was just the stuff that she already owned. One by one, she took out the supplies that had been brought for this very moment, setting them around her legs on the floor wherever there was space. Then she divided them out into separate piles. A pair of yellow gloves, a fluffy, fresh duster, a bottle of cleaning spray, and a full roll of paper towels. Mom had a set of her own. The other was for you. You were gonna need them. There was only one broom and dustpan that she did successfully find. You were gonna take turns using that. The first move in the make the house a place people can actually live in plan was yanking open the streaky windows to get some airflow going. Though before even that, you had to get the locks in the windows themselves to come loose. Get some WD-40. You dug your fingers in between the base of the window frame and the latch pressed against it, forcing it to move against its will. When the lock clicked into place on the opposite side, you shoved the window up with both hands. Your gloves were already patchy with filth. The icy, crisp breeze that flowed in from the outside was a lot more welcoming at this point. You got a good look at the neighborhood while catching your breath. Streetlights had come on. But then you left the window there to do its job and got back to yours. The two of you went back and forth and up and down around the house to open up everything that you could. Some windows were jammed in place so tight you had to leave it alone for your mom to get to later. Next one on the list was to somehow scrub down all the floors, walls, counters, and every other inch of space where dust could settle, which was every inch of the entire house. You picked a spot and gave it a sweep with the fuzzy head of the duster. A nice line of clear wood followed behind your motion. That pattern continued for a while, and whenever the dust layer was gone from a spot, you'd go back over it again with the cleaning spray to really make it shine. Your mom was able to track down and turn on the heater, not that you could tell the difference with all the windows wide open. Eventually, you had a short dinner break with your mom, standing around in the kitchen together, the two of you as dusty as the rest of the house. It was packed meals from the car. Simple sandwiches, fruits with thick peels that wouldn't get smashed on the drive, little bags of granola and pretzels in juice boxes. There were no groceries. The rickety fridge was off and totally empty when you checked. It's a relief there was nothing gross in there. You had prepared for the worst for such an old, practically abandoned house. There wasn't a single bottle of nasty ketchup or box of unknown leftovers or anything, thank God. The trash from your food was dumped in the same giant black garbage bag that you'd been throwing piles of gray-stained paper towels and wads of squished together tape in for the whole night. Somehow the bag was getting full, even though it was big enough to fit your whole body inside. It was a mark of how much work you'd really done. Looking at just the house made you think you hadn't even gotten started. The only way to change that was to keep going, as your mom talked about when encouraging herself to clean again after dinner. Your mom polished up the house as best you could for even more hours. But when your usual bedtime arrived, Mom put the duster and the scissors down. She wasn't going to have you stay up late, no matter how excited she was to unpack. She guided you to the first floor bathroom. The one on the second floor were too dirty to use, plucking her overnight bag off the counter along the way. Your mom explained how she'd do a round throughout the whole house to close the windows to keep busy until the bathroom was free, and left you to get ready to sleep. Inside the bag were little baby-sized versions of normal toothpaste and mouthwash containers and simple toothbrushes. All you had for pajamas that night was a green long-sleeve shirt with matching pants. You got as clean as you possibly could with only a sink to use. Trying to get the grimy feeling off your skin wasn't easy and took way longer than usual, but it was crucial. Then, you changed into the PJs and let your mom have her turn. While she was away... Aww, our favorite stuffed animal, action figure, favorite doll, special pillow. Honestly, it probably would be a blanket or pillow, but we're gonna do a stuffed animal. It wasn't something you could sleep without. And the furniture was still plastic wrapped, so you crouched down and sat on the rug. Mom returned in only a couple minutes wearing her purple pajamas, and she also had sleeping bags tucked under each of her arms. She shifted one forward to hold it against the front of her chest and dropped the other onto the floor. It landed with a puff. That'll be mine, your mom noted while trying to untie the band that kept the sleeping bag together in a roll. She pulled and pinched at the knot. When it didn't budge, she lifted the bundle to her face and used her teeth to pry the threaded bands apart from each other. I've been there. She got it loose and victoriously flapped the bag all the way open. She laid it down in a clear spot on the wooden floor. There you are, Lily. All ready. Okay. You used your feet and rocked back and forth to move yourself across the antique rug, scooting towards the sleeping bag without getting up off the ground. Mom chatted casually while spreading her own bag nearby. We'll need to get some wood so we can actually use that fireplace on nights like these. Did your mom know how to use a fireplace? You'd never seen one in person until now. So far, you'd still never seen one that had fire in it. Luckily, the house was warm and cozy, even without that since the windows stopped letting the chill in. The heater worked. That was sort of a surprise to you. Mom soon settled down in the center of her temporary bed. She sat cross-legged with her back solidly straight. Her hands came to rest on the tops of her knees, and she made direct eye contact with you. Thank you for the help with the house today. It'll be home before we know it at this rate. I worked really hard. I'm so tired. Flop down. And there's like non-verbal options. I'm so tired now. I can understand that. She slouched her shoulders, easing away some of the stiffness. Hey, guess what I did in the neighborhood today? You hid behind the fence the entire time? No, Mom. I met people. Okay, tell me, dear. After pausing just a little to build suspense, he began to narrate the entire story of the paper airplane adventure. From the moment it hit, to the way it led you down the forest crossroad, meeting Chu on his tower and his notebook full of loose pages, then finding Tamarack in her leaf pile and all her surprises. Mom listened with her whole self, leaning forward and grinning wider with each new turn you revealed. You wrapped it up by explaining how you returned to the neighborhood with Chu and Tamarack after everything you discovered. Honest way to spend an afternoon. I'm proud of you, Lily. You're a bona fide detective. I had no idea you'd gone into such a winding journey. You kicked your legs up and down your sleeping bag, very pleased with her reaction. It was a fun story to tell. Somehow, the events of the day felt like they were a lifetime ago, or that they happened to someone else and you just heard about it. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay. But it happened real. The paper airplane hit your shoulder. You held the note in your hands. And you threw that paper away when you were cleaning. Oh, fuck. Nah, I'm keeping it. You saved that paper with your things as a keepsake. It had nice memories that went with it. With your topic all done, Mom softly spoke up to share her own thoughts with you. It's odd, imagining this entire building collecting dust for all this time, isn't it? No one wanted to live here. Not renters, not the man who owned it. It's a charming house. Yeah, it is. How did we get to have something like this? Mom pitched her lips together in consideration, and she kept talking. There aren't a lot of opportunities out in these woods, I suppose. At my company, the retiring of the former HR manager was the first big position I've ever heard of for this area. And even that didn't open up for people already living in the town. I was asked to relocate to take the position. Creases grew around her eyes the more she thought about it. She caught herself before a frown could follow. Oh, but it's not an issue. I'm grateful. We'll find our place in the slow pace of Golden Grove, and at least we'll have each other regardless. Aww. You can count on me, Mom. Thank you, Lily. Then your mom stretched her legs out fully across her sleeping bag, wiggling her toes inside the black socks she had on. Seeing Mom right there on the floor with you was cool. You didn't hang out together during bedtime like this most nights. It was special. As you thought about that, your eyelids were trying to tape themselves up with the sticky, gritty stuff that your eyes made when it was extra late. Alright, dear. You should get inside the sleeping bag now, before you blink out on top of it. That sounded like a pretty good idea. Scooping your stuffed animal into both your arms, you shimmied into the open end of the bag. It was made out of fabric that was so smooth it wasn't difficult to do. Oh boy. You moved further down until the edge was to your chin. You were wrapped up like a loaf of bread in a grocery bag. Mom got to her feet, taking a short jog over to the far wall of the room. She lifted a finger to the light switch, but kept her gaze down on you. The expression on her face was gentle. Good night, Lily. Good night, Mom. The room went pitch black with a click. While your eyes were trying to adjust, you heard the shuffling sounds of Mom. She'd join you on the floor again. The noises soon stopped. Mom didn't talk anymore. Oh god, Mom's dead! There weren't sounds of cars passing outside. There was a thumping in your ears. Thought you might have heard a creak somewhere. The night noises were a lot different than what you had experience with. They were so quiet and distant. Made you notice them more than if they were clearer. You'd have to get to know the sounds better. It was another part of the house's personality. You were okay with that. It was normal to need time to get familiar with each other. You pressed your eyes shut. Your head was thoughts of... Aww, Chew and Tamarack, Mom. First day of school, moving to a new town. Chew and Tamarack. You tossed and turned in the squishy cocoon, wanting to sleep so tomorrow would come sooner, but too excited to do so. It was way too long of a night. Then, your second day in Golden Grove arrived. Ooh, you get a change what you're wearing during the game. Take off accessories and hats, yada yada. I think I'm good. Oh my god, those colors are so fucking pretty! But I think, unfortunately... Yeah. I am going to go ahead and put a save down here because we are almost at 2 hours. And I want to be sure that I have plenty of other time for the other game. So I will be coming back at some point and I will finish up this demo of Our Life Now and Forever. Probably... maybe not until like next weekend or if I have the time during the weekday. We'll see, but for now, we're gonna go ahead and we've got a save here. And we will head back to the main menu. Just to make sure. Perfect. And yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll drop off Our Life Now and Forever there. This game is so fucking cute, man. Why is my... I like how my screen is blinking white. I'm gonna move screens here. My screen kept flickering white, and that's like giving me concern. But That game is so adorable and so cute. And this is also like my first Hatch Studios game. Because I hadn't played the other Our Life games. This is my first introduction to it, and I am like, my heart, man. I could totally see this being in like a movie or an anime with like a sketch style to it. It's so adorable. Oh, that's like all I can say. It's cute. It's adorable. I love it. I can't wait to see more of it and see how the characters develop as they get older. Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god, truly. I'm gonna have to check out the other games now and see what they're all about, you know? But, because that is the end of the first game, or what I'm doing right now, our second game up on the docket is going to be... Let me just double check again real quick. It's gonna be Crimson Waves of the Emerald Sea. Or as I just put it inside the Discord announcement, Crimson Waves by Crystal Gameworks, which is a game that is actually not unfamiliar to me. It is a game that I did see and back over on Kickstarter. So I am going to be playing the demo today. You can expect that upon full release, I will absolutely be playing the full game as well, as I will be receiving a Steam key for it from the Kickstarter backing. That's where we're going to go to next. But before that, we have ourselves a 10-minute break here. Go ahead and do that. And pin that for 10 minutes. So go ahead, get yourself some water, get yourself a drink, a snack if you need it. Do what you need to do, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes, okay? See ya!